Well, news is Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance is now the most watched halftime show ever. The title was previously held by Usher and Rihanna. What happened to Michael Jackson? I mean, yeah, I guess, you can put it up there with Usher and Rihanna because, like, you're looking at a day and age where we can quantify numbers. The numbers are there. Before, let's say it was 90s, 93, and Michael Jackson performed. Yeah, we could like estimate some numbers, how many people were watching. But now you got social media, the YouTube numbers, the the Instagram numbers, all the numbers can be verified. If not, sometimes you can fiddle them because we all know that there's K bots out there, and then there's other bots that can boost numbers to make things seem bigger, people seem bigger than they are. So that's a fact that then back then, in the 90s, there were never any bots. Just got the numbers you were given. I mean, there were always dodgy things going on in the world. This world's not clean. With the record company, there was always dodgy things happening. Ways to fiddle numbers here and there. Now we're dealing with AI and we're dealing with bots. Numbers can always be fiddled to make someone look way bigger than they are. I mean, there's one point where Isonet said crowd was silent when he was performing, and they added sound effects of the crowd cheering. Yeah, I was like, wow, man, they're really into this music. Guy's like, nah, that was silent, silent as a mouse. Like, what? So you can see how they can fiddle things and make things seem bigger. So when you're sitting down there watching TV, everything seems massive. Everything seems I was rocking with the music, but in actual fact, nah, really. So they're saying that this the performance was okay. We all know why we was there to hear Kendrick Lamar or Drake a PDF file. That's why we tuned in. We wanted to see if he was gonna go up on that stage and say it straight in front of the camera with a smile on his face. Put a smile on that face. That's what we wanted to hear, and we kind of got it. But yeah, it wasn't a bad performance by any means. I mean, he's not a dancer. You can't really compare him to Michael Jackson, Rihanna. He's a rapper. So his performance is going to be with the dancers. They're going to be dancing and going to be coordinated behind him. All he has to do is rap. With Michael Jackson, Rihanna, and Usher, they are performers in a way where they dance and sing. Because I'm gonna be honest, I was an academic stream, and academics hated the hell out of the halftime show. He said it was terrible. He said, where did he get these dancers from? It was terrible. He said he should perform certain tracks. I mean, let's put in perspective. From what we can hear as research, tracks he chose are the tracks he owns the copyright to or the royalties to. So it would be silly if you do the performance, last, um, the biggest halftime performance ever, Super Bowl, and the record company gets all the money. Every time that performance is played, there's a clip of it, they get paid, not you. So it's good that he chose songs that he owns the rights to. So whenever they play a clip, he gets paid, and they're gonna keep paying those clips. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what academics wanted him to do. Start flying. I was like, what did you want him to do? We all came for that one song, right? I mean, yeah, song seems bigger than him right now. We want to hear that song, not like us. Not a bad. It wasn't a bad halftime show by any means. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you to show you a couple of clips of what other YouTubers and TikTokers have to say about the halftime show. If you agree, I mean, I was entertained. Should they have given it to Lil Wayne? Um, not really. When I think about it, like, yeah, that's his silly and everything, but in this day and time, Lil Wayne is literally sleeping. Called himself the sleeping giant, so he ain't really doing much. Yeah, it would have been good if they gave it to Lil, but he ain't doing much out in hip hop. So it'd been weird if you have somebody being on one of the biggest hip hop beefs in years, the biggest songs in years. You're like, let's just give it to Lil Wayne. Yes, he's a legend, but he isn't really fire right now. Kendrick fire, even though Kendrick's one of those artists would hibernate for years, then he will pop back up. You don't hear or see of him on social media whatsoever. Posts here and there, but he isn't like doesn't need the engagement other artists would need to keep their fandom up. Just disappear. A year or two, pop back with an album. The only person I know who does that is Eminem. Not many artists can do that. Yeah, so does do they give him to him? Yes and no. You know, it's funny. They said they apologized to him. I think it kind of probably out of their hands. Maybe Jay-Z twisted their arm or something. Jay-Z did. It is what it is. We're here. Yeah, just have a check out what other people have to think and say. I'll leave you with that.
Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl now is the most watched Super Bowl halftime performance ever. And a lot of people are mad because Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl halftime show just surpassed Michael Jackson's performance at the halftime show in 1993. And they're saying there's no comparison because back then, Michael Jackson didn't even have social media and all of that. So just imagine how many actual viewers he had during that time. And this is true, but nobody should be mad at this comparison because this is exactly what both Michael Jackson and Kendrick Lamar have both been trying to tell us. The American music industry, especially, has evolved around Black culture. And Black artists aren't really treated fair in this game. Like Kendrick Lamar said, they have to abide by the rules to make it high up there. And same thing that Michael Jackson tried to tell us with Sony. I'm sure you guys remember in 2002 when Michael Jackson said that the music industry, particularly Sony Music, stole from their artists, but especially Black artists. And the crazy thing about Kendrick Lamar, each message that he drops, they often have multiple meanings. Just like this PlayStation controller, a lot of people were like, oh, it's because Drake is signed to Sony. But also, we had Michael Jackson calling out Sony for being the people that were ripping off Black artists, which would also tie into having to play the game in the music industry and basically tone down everything in your Black culture to make it acceptable for the American culture. The messages that we can get out of Kendrick Lamar's performance can literally go on for weeks. I am telling you, this man is that smart and that calculated, and he knows exactly what he's doing. The fact that these two Black men have the most viewed Super Bowl halftime performances ever shows you how important Black culture really is here in America. Happy Black History Month, but y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Can we just be very honest and just completely be honest and just say Kendrick Lamar's halftime show was not good? Bro, this dude did not perform any of the classics. This dude didn't perform a bunch of good songs that would have made it better, bro. I swear this whole halftime show was just centered around the fact that he was going to perform Not Like Us, which isn't even one of his best songs. Like, Like, people are acting like Not Like Us is his top song or the song that saved his career. Bro, this dude has classics, but he didn't play anything. Like, this halftime show was literally a diss Drake halftime show. Like, it wasn't like people weren't even tuned in to hear Kendrick rap. It was to hear him diss Drake. That's it. That was it. Like, people will remember this as the Not Like Us halftime show, not the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. The Not Like Us halftime show. Like, this halftime show will be talked about in the Kendrick Drake beef, not in the terms of NFL halftime shows, because it wasn't good, bro.
Entryway into my next point. Disclaimer, this is all just my interpretation once again. The essence of art is in the absence of the expected. Everyone came expecting the hits, expecting to be turned up. It's the Super Bowl. Every other Super Bowl we have ever watched, we have expected the artists to perform their greatest hits for us. This is because the Super Bowl has an audience that is much broader than any other campaign that you would normally run within the marketing realm. If I was performing at the Super Bowl, it would be my goal to make sure that the majority of the audience thinks that this is a good show. To do that, I would have to sing the songs that had the highest chance of household penetration across the country. For Kendrick, I think those songs would have been Mad City, Backseat Freestyle, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, All Right, Humble Shore, King Kunta, and Swimming Pools, along with probably All the Stars. Because in my opinion, I think that there is not a person in this country that hasn't heard at least a snippet of one of those songs. So if my goal as an artist is to make people like me, I would have thrown those out. So why didn't he? Why did he choose the songs that a lot of people wouldn't know? I think it's because he became the antithesis of the Super Bowl halftime performance. We expect the artist to put on a show for us. But when the artist takes back that control and makes us watch them, it becomes art. It almost became a sort of rebellion to withhold those songs from the majority of the crowd that would have known them. I also found it somewhat symbolic that the people in the crowd got almost less of a performance than the people sitting at home. It's again switching the control of who you're performing for. He was not performing for the people sitting in that stadium. He was prioritizing viewership at home, which kind of flips the script of what you would normally expect. Once again, Wall Street Journal posted a carousel on Instagram that had an interview with Dave Free, who is the creative collaborator for this performance. They said that the choreography included the camera work. When I think about it like that, the stress of importance on the viewership at home really tells me a lot about the intention of this overall performance. And it was to flip the script on everything that we've expected from the Super Bowl previously. And when I said it shifted the way we think about the halftime performance, I think it does, because moving forward, it's no longer seen as like an opportunity for artists to appeal to the crowd. It's going to be an opportunity for artists and creatives to display their vision on a wider scale than ever before. This comment gives me the
one thing that I've noticed, and this is just my thoughts, when it comes to Kendrick, everyone decides to pull up rules out of thin air. Why is that? Like, let's actually talk about it. When he was chosen to do the Super Bowl, everyone was like, oh my God, why is he performing at the Super Bowl where he's not from the city that the Super Bowl is held in? I went back, I did some research, because like, it's not good to talk and add to a conversation if you don't know what you're talking about. So I did some research and I was like, okay, does the Super Bowl have a history of picking performers from the city that the show is taking place in? And that answer is no. That has never really been a thing. And then again, we see that same sentiment play out again for the Super Bowl. It's one thing to say, I wish he performed this. Is another thing to paint your preference as what the norm is supposed to be. I think that's lame. I honestly think that's lame. And I feel like that's what a lot of people have been doing. It's like, this is my preference. I wish Kendrick performed Swimming Pools. Yes, we all wish he performed Swimming Pools. But is it a rule that every artist that comes on there has to do a nostalgia fest, a trip down memory lane? No, it is not. And the question I want to throw to whoever's watching is this. Why should an artist do a nostalgia show when they're in their prime.
To all you black Americans out there, I said the halftime show was mid. Kendrick's performance was mid. I don't care about your symbolism and all that shit. It was mid. Whoa. Before you go telling me I'm not like you, how I'm not American, Colin Kaepernick. Remember him? Colin Kaepernick took the knee, lost his career from the NFL because he was representing black people. He was doing all the symbolism shit. He lost his job. You still watch the NFL. You still watch the halftime show. You wanted the entertainment. Don't get on here and start talking all this woke shit to me. When I'm watching a halftime show, I want to be entertained. I don't want to see the spoken word poetry. Oh my God, it was deep. No one cares, bro. Play the bangers and get the hell off the stage. All right? Don't come for me and my non-Americanism because I'm watching an event, staying up late to watch an event, and I was not impressed with the performance. I wasn't impressed with Rihanna's performance. Are you going to tell me about symbolism and shit there? No, it's mid is mid, bro. It was mid.
So people are going on and on about this Kendrick performance. I mean, on and on. Oh, we didn't want something deep. We didn't want a message. We don't want to be conscious of what's going on. We just want to be entertained. Meanwhile, the country is in shambles. I mean, on fire. And you wanted Kendrick Malcolm X Lamar to get on stage and shuck and jive for your entertainment? Are you crazy? This is the problem with us right now, presently, is that we want stimulation so much. We don't know how to sit down and actually look at something and take it for what it is. We have to be stimulated. Something has to be going on. We don't know how to take a breath. We don't know how to actually sit down and have a dialogue or a conversation because we just want something popping off. You're overstimulated. Y'all are so used to fast food. You want fries, a shake. You want everything that is not good for you that was quick and instant. You want a little toy with it. You want a Happy Meal. And when you get an actual meal in front of you that's nutritious, that you're going to get something from it, that's going to actually nourish your mind, you don't know what to do with it. You don't know how it's prepared. You don't even know how to go about eating it. Should I eat this with a fork? You're so used to eating with your hands. You're so used to scarfing it down and eating it so quick because you eat it as quick as it was prepared. And now your tummy hurts. And now you're malnourished. But when you get an actual meal in front of you, you don't know what to do with it.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna bob and weave, but my whole timeline is people with their multi-hyphenated, marginalized credentials in their bios telling me how much they didn't like Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. My issue with y'all is that, one, I feel like the thing that you're doing is performative because in reality, if you actually understood how society's supposed to function, you would know that it makes no sense for somebody to run into a bakery and tell the chef that he needs to be outside fighting when the way that he's providing for the revolution is by making food for folks to eat. Y'all would not run into a library where a person was providing books, including books that are very necessary for people to understand their rights or their history, and be like, you in here passing out books not gonna do nothing, like you need to be out there fighting. Everybody has their different role. Y'all always have a problem with everything everyone does when the most important thing that y'all can do for whatever it is we're trying to accomplish is you. Do you represent whatever from the place that you're standing? Like, and I always say this to people, the front line is wherever you're standing at. I don't want to have to convince nobody to go put on their gas mask, you know what I'm saying, and grab a bullhorn. I need y'all to represent in the way that is fit for y'all. If his artistic expression with the message is the way that he wanted to show up, let him do that. If you feel like it didn't suffice, cool, but y'all don't feel like anything suffices, because last time I checked, if a celebrity was too outspoken or too down for the cause or whatever case, y'all start saying it's performative. Last time I checked, let somebody utter a single syllable of something that y'all don't agree with. Now y'all crawling up their backside like maggots. Y'all have a problem with everything everybody does. I actually don't need rappers to be my revolutionaries, right? Like, I understand that there is a shortage of radicals, but there's not a shortage of revolutionaries, and they're to your left and your right. But instead of supporting them, platforming them, using that same breath in your lungs to make sure that you're giving them the shine that they need and deserve in order to support the causes that y'all claim y'all care so much about, y'all instead get on this internet and complain. And last time I checked, the people who's really about it don't even be on the internet because they don't want their faces seen. And you could check that. So I'm so sorry. I understand that the internet has y'all perception of what it looks like to be down or to be radical skewed, but like, how is what you're doing any less performative than him getting on the stage at the Super Bowl? What is it about your video that's critiquing his performance that's fixing, solving, saving anybody? Oh, you're playing a field from where it is that you're capable of? Y'all are more alike than you think.